Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to wherever you are watching our cast today here. My name is Night Falcon. I'm pleased to give you guys a good entrance into this Division 1 matchup between Taco and Exodus. Really set to be a good one of the highlight ones of the week. Both teams, powerhouses in their respective rights, looking to try to stake their claim as we look to move into the playoff season. So I'm going to be here just trying to give you the best I can, best view, and appreciate you guys all joining us. I, Night Falcon, over here at Falcon Studios, happy to be with you, and just looking forward to a great matchup between these two teams. Before we go ahead and get started, we are waiting for a few more people to come on in and join in on everything. But let's go over some of the rules. Not too different than what we've experienced in previous TPL matches. But nonetheless, we have rules. So one man only. Essentially, what that means is that we want one man, one man or woman, once they get on the gun, to stay on that gun. Don't want anybody else helping them load. Don't want anything don't want them going to a different gun. Don't want them jumping around doing anything else. They're gonna be on that one gun. Indestructible nodes. We want to make sure teams generate as much resources as they can, but it's up to the various commanders on how they want to go about using those. But we want everybody to be able to at least generate the same amount. And with the new added feature being able to salvage some vehicles, tanks, and whatnot, that also can play into it. So up to the teams how they want to use them, but we want to make sure that those stay up once they go up. Third, Panther ban is still in effect. So the heaviest tank you'll see for the Axis is going to be the Tiger tank that pops on out. Panthers, even though they got a little changed around in update 18, as of right now, we're still leaving them the way that they are. And just trying to preserve the competitive integrity, I guess, so far this season. So no Panthers going to be on the field. And also rule number 4, it's not on the graphic. Commanders are not able to use the Commander Artillery Strike ability. So lots of fun action. Rules there just to help keep it competitive and lots of fun. But at the end of the day, we're here fighting over Kharkov. So looking at the Division 1 standings as they currently sit, Legion sitting at the top of the pack here, 5-0. Taco sitting 3-1. Legion having won last night, securing that 5-0. 5 win, 0 losses, I mean, not 5-0. But Taco and Exodus both looking to try to get into that win column today to secure their spot here in that second place. Taco sitting at 3-1, Exodus sitting at 2-2. A win by Exo would put him up at 3-2, making things very interesting come the playoff hunt here, as 6th is right there looking to try to get in that second position as well. So lots of stake today between these two, looking for a good 90-minute match, and ultimately just to have fun. At the end of the day, it's a video game that we all love, probably spend way too much time doing things on, but at the same time, we love it, and that's what brings us all together today. So we are just waiting for the last few people to go ahead and join in on the match today. So we'll go ahead and get started. As of right now, I wasn't able to pull any stats. Some of the servers were giving us some issues, and we want to make sure that our scoreboard overlay is going to work as well. I might have to manually handle the kill counter, or not the kill counters, but the clock and whatnot. If the system doesn't sync up appropriately, unfortunately, we won't be able to have stats available to us. But we'll cross that bridge once the map flips and see if it's going to be nice enough to help us out a little bit. We'll just test a few different servers here just to make sure it's not floating around there anywhere. Nope, that's not the right one. And it works. These are real cool. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just turn that off. We're going to go and just manually take care of it because it looks like it will not play nice for us today. And for those of you that are interested, I also have my co-caster, Smithers, also from a member of the TPL stream team, over broadcasting from the side of EXO. And so I won't direct you guys, I won't put a link or anything in there. You guys all know where to find him. So competing with Smithers today here, the Smithers cast and our broadcast here at Falcon Studios, looking just to get us the best information we can, our best coverage that we can. If I don't get something covered in my stream, I fully invite you to go ahead and go look at Smithers as well. Maybe he had that little angle that got that cool tank kill or got that kill streak that you went on. So one of the fun advantages of having a few different streamers on these things is that you can go ahead and see them both. And double the chances that you end up getting picked up, double the chances for exposure. The only negative thing is you got twice as much footage to look through, but hopefully we can at least make it entertaining for you. While we are still waiting for everybody to trickle in, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're looking at today. So the only point we know for sure is going to be St. Mary, and that's right here, smack dab in the middle. One of probably the funnest point here on Kharkov, in my opinion, to play on. So as it currently stands, we've got allies that are going to be coming up from the north. Axis coming from the south. We're broadcasting from the ally side, so once the map flips, we will go ahead and see the colors shift. Red will be on bottom, blue will be on top. But overall, we're going to be playing Warfare today. And Warfare, what that basically means is the map is divided into 4 different sections. I'm going to go ahead and turn off audio here. All right, so the map is divided into 5 different sectors. Each team controls 2 sectors at the start of the match. So this is a pretty good showing of what it would look like when we go to actually start the match, with the Axis owning these 2 down here, allies owning the top 2 up here. Now, the goal, both teams will initially rush this middle point. This will be the only one that's available for capture right at the start of the match. That's why we know what the middle point is, because these teams, when they go through and do their map ban processes, they go in and they're aware of what that midpoint is for that particular week. So for this week, both teams knew St. Mary was going to be the cap for the middle sector. Now, what's one team ends up securing that? So let's say if this continues to go up here, the blue team, just for ease of purpose, it ends up capturing this. It will then open up lumber works for them to be able to go and attack. However, the Axis forces, or the Allies forces, the red team, will still look to try to attack into here. So it's kind of like that tug of war. One team, you always have an attacking point and a defensive point. And the scores change based off of how many capture sectors a team secures. And so at that point, blue team, if they end up taking middle, they will go up 3-2, and so on and so forth. If a team captures all 5, the match will end. If they keep going back and forth, the longest they would look to go is 90 minutes. So I'll be with you here for a long time because we're anticipating a good 90-minute battle between these guys. But keep me posted in the comments if you have questions. If you're new to Hell Let Loose, definitely want to help you guys understand what the competitive sphere of Hell Let Loose is, what this game entails, because everybody that's playing in this match, casting this match, initiating this match, we all ultimately have come to really enjoy this match, and hope that we can just share that over to you guys so you can enjoy it as well. We are broadcasting on the console side today, not the PC side. So PC, there's no crossplay in this game, so PC is able to kind of have their own servers. Consoles, Xbox and PlayStation have their own servers as well. And with that, we have our initial flip here. So we are in for a good battle between these two. So we want to make sure we get in our squad here as soon as possible, so we try to catch any of the pregame shenanigans that might be going on here. All right. So, our point layout as it currently stands, we have offset points. So this will be really exciting here because both teams will look to try to pressure. This whole sector right here is really just a lot of open fields. I bet both teams would have definitely preferred to either have windmills back here or lumberyard over here for the second point. A little bit easier to defend, but the armor engagements that we're probably going to see along this side, for whatever side ends up capturing this side first, I think we're going to be in for some good stuff. Lots of big open fields. Definitely want to have a good old time with that. All right. Okay, so as it looks, we've got, looks like transport trucks, recon going up out of the north here for Taco. Tactical Collective, shortened down to Taco for the fun. Looks like we got some snipes that are getting prepped here. As we see the Lux try to get across that wonderful frozen tundra of a canal. On the Axis side, got a few different vehicles lining up. Now, these teams do like to throw some good Lux attacks here right off the bat. So we might be looking to see this Lux go ahead and get some type of angle on the firing position here. I appear to have lost my little cursor here. Let's see if we can leave admin cam, come back into it real fast. Did I get my map cursor back? No, we will not. So luckily we'll be using our little handy dandy drawing tool that moves around there on the map to point out anything that could be of importance. No AT guns look to be set up quite yet. But definitely nobody looking to brave that main road except maybe some Taco tanks. But definitely watching out for that main snipe here. Don't want to fall victim to that, as so many teams have in the past. But we got a couple recon teams up here on the northern side. So recon tanks left side boundary already could be looking to get some fun action going here. Yeah, it looks like we have some Taco ones that are holding out. Go ahead and see where those guys are going to look to be shooting here. Initial snipes going out. Following them through. Nothing hitting there for Exo. Snipes coming in for Taco as well. Also hitting empty ground. As it looks like Taco is going to be the first group to get into the hard cap sector here. More rockets coming in big. Oh, it looks like we did end up getting a Taco truck get hit here on the backside. That looks to be potentially a supply truck here. Or a transport truck, unknown, but many people appear to have jumped out in time. Zaw, the lone man up here with his squad now coming in off the OP here. They must have been the victims of the backside little truck snipe there that happened there. So Exo now with the small strike here. Got a Lux popping on up here, going at ham here, just trying to prevent those guys from getting into the point. And I'll be adjusting our name brightness here in a moment here, but this Lux just laying into the northern side here as these guys try to get across. Do have a couple Taco guys that have been able to make it into the chapel, but ultimately they appear to be on the outside as Blacks and Poopyfish appear to be going at it. Black's able to go ahead and get that win here on the eastern side here as Taco looks to hold these houses. But that Lux really being a problem as it just continues to pound that northern sector of the point here. Exo's little light tank there look and try to just to stay alive as the T-34 coming in behind it as well. Exo doing very well about getting on the side here, the western side of St. Mary's. As that Lux just continues to cause damage with this secondary Lux. So 2 Luxes coming out right off the opening here, just being little pills here for the Taco side, as Taco now looks to have gained full control over the hard cap sector. That Lux, that initial Lux that we were following, looks to have finally bitten the dust a little bit here, and we see another explosion. Looks like we have Katushka Strike coming on in here, so already trying to help them off with this initial cap here. Taco calling in the Katushka, but Juicy and Zen down here able to get some shots, eliminating some allies as they look to try to get in here to the point. Strafing runs and Katushka Strikes already a galore coming in on this match. All right, I'm gonna be fixing the clock here in just a moment. I just don't want to miss any of the action here on the hard cap. As Artie coming in, leveling the northern portion of this. Taco now nearing 2/3 of the way capped. Exo still doing very well at holding out on this western side of the map. But nearing 90% of the way capped here. Taco appears to be in a good position here to go ahead and get movement and get that initial cap here. All right. Taco go ahead and taking that lead. 3-2 here at the moment. It's a good initial push here for both teams. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how Exo did at getting their OPs right back up. It looks like because we don't have our zoom feature, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult here. But lots of good Exo OPs right back up, as you would expect from Division 1 team. All their officers being right, Johnny on the spot, getting those OPs back up. Let's go ahead and fix this so you guys can see everybody. All right, there we go. Names are a little bit more visible now. As Taco now owns the entirety of the hard cap, and that Lux is now gone. So all of those little Luxes that were causing Taco so many problems, able to go ahead and get on in and get those taken care of. So good work on Taco to go ahead and get those up, get those taken care of. So Taco doing very well here. We already see garrison placements, garrison advancements going here on the network. No doubt Commander Hound Dog 7 going to be looking to work with the rest of his guys to try to make sure that they can continue moving those garrisons up, as that front line just continues to push on up here for Taco. Go ahead and take a look at some of these guys up here. No doubt prepping a lot of their locations here. Fred and MG as well. Let's go ahead and take a look and see. He looks to have found himself a really good, decent little hiding spot here, as he has. That's a great little MG spot there, covering that northern portion. Lots of secure area right around him to avoid getting shot from other things, but he can really control that front door push here. It's always interesting to see what these Division 1 teams come up with as they go throughout the course of their weeks in prepping for these matches. Wolf Dog and Black going at it here on the southern side. Black looking just to try to hold up and keep OPs and everything up, as Wolf Dog's able to go ahead and eliminate him from the backside. More and more Exo players starting to fall a little bit here. Chungus moving on up. Don Insanus and Orgson. Ogerson. Whittle taking out Don and Insanus. George is the Honkel. Moving on up. Facing off against Whittle. Whittle able to get a good shot on him there. Eliminating him. As Exo starting to advance here into the western portion here of the hardcap sector. The T-34 here for Taco looking to try to gain a foothold also on this western side here. No doubt coming after this Panzer IV here, down here on the bottom. We'll keep it right here for just a second, see what tank action we might be able to get here right off the bat. As that T-34 just kind of diving on in. Looking to try to clear whatever OPs he can. Ghost, though, looking to try to get on the backside. Ghost smartly going for the infantry support behind that tank, though. As more and more shots ring out, Ghost looking to try to get an angle. Aerial, though, also, we have a double satchel. Both corners of this T-34, like ninjas, the Exodus players pop right on up. Able to get two satchels on that. Stage able to get out, but eliminated by Ghost, leaving one man in there for the last few seconds of the action. That T-34 is going to go up in smoke here in just a moment, but not before at least leaving a dent here in the backside of the Panzer IV. Will it be able to clear it out? No, satchel goes off before it's able to get the final shot on the Panzer IV. So still going to stay alive here for a moment. Panzer IV heavily damaged, but still able to stay in the fight. Go ahead and take a look, see how we're doing on the eastern side of the map. Both teams doing very well, playing map edge to map edge, but we can start to see already that the big open fields that we talked about here are already proving to be a little bit of an issue for both teams because they are not as densely packed in as other areas could be. Mr. Brightside up here. Looks like he's doing just fine. If we keep it on here for a moment, we'll get a little bit more of a serenade rendition here of his namesake song. As Leon coming up on Deathface. Both peeking angles. Leon knows he's there. He heard the shots from Deathface. But as more and more shots come in, you can see Deathface there with the help of our X-ray vision here. Mr. Brightside, though, looking not to get left out on the action. Gets an angle on Leon. Will he get Leon? Leon is able to take out Mr. Brightside. As we see another Katushka strike coming on in. Oh, and a friendly rocket coming in, taking out Leon, unfortunately. Leon just on the wrong side of some friendly fire there. Katushka strike inbound, though. Let's take a look and see what it's able to do here on the backside as all the EXO players here diving for the ground. Wolfdog going down to the Panzer IV blast, but George of the Honkel able to stay up and alive. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at this here for a second. Let's just enjoy the time and the effort that it must have taken these guys to prep this and get their take up on this building. It's definitely not in its natural habitat, but to give you a good example of Soviet wood and steel, must have been outsourced from Siberia. Because that is tough weathered wood and steel to be able to get and hold that tank up there. But with the help of the repair station, most likely they were able to get up. I wish we would have seen them being able to get up on that. Potentially Smithers, maybe Smithers was able to see how he got up there. But at the end of the day, Panzer IV up in a very perched up position here. To play on the Falcon cast kind of words here. But very good placement, very good prep work already for both teams coming through from the MG perspectives, the tank perspectives, showing both teams putting all the time and effort into this match that you would expect of these Division 1 teams. Now, for those of you watching at home, I can only imagine how much prep hours these guys put in. I know on my team, the 22nd, we end up putting a good amount of effort into our preps as well. And especially now that I got on with the casting side of things, and the time that it takes to prep these matches and whatnot, for some of us, this ends up being like a small part-time job with the amount of prep and effort that goes into these things to figure out these strats. So definitely more than the hour and a half, the 90 minutes that we would expect as this light tank for the Soviets gets taken out. Or was that, could have very well been a T-34. But it looks like off an AT gun off the backside. Not sure if it was an AT gun, if it was a tank, as there is a Tiger tank on the left side, but I don't know if that had the angle on it. Let's zoom on over though and take a look and see what he was looking at, because it very well could have been. Oh, yeah, that is most likely exactly what it was. So Bible Swan and his crew able to get a good angle on that tank, sniping it from across the map. As we were kind of saying earlier, we'll give B Monkey here a little bit of time here, friend of the show. Looks like we have the MG Battle of the Century going here. Between B Monkey and Fred out there. Both of them not wanting to give up ground over this western side, over those open fields. But yeah, both teams definitely putting more prep in than just the 90-minute match is able to show. So for all you guys sitting at home wanting to know how you can get better, comes through prep. Finding all those little angles, finding out how you can get tanks on top of areas, as Lefebvre Town able to bring and take that taco player to Flavortown. Chungus. Ashy being eliminated. Open the door for Flavortown to go ahead and pop on up. George the Uncle going down on the southern side of our screen. All right, so let's take a look and talk about our Falcon cast here, or Falcon camera here for a moment. So Exo's biggest push coming off the straight in between the point. So for many of you guys, you might look at this as being a main assault squad, a meat grind squad, lots of different names that it can be given. But as it currently stands, biggest push coming in right down that row of houses. Now, looks like Taco has been able to make their way into the back. And as it currently stands with A squad right there, that garrison's gonna be open. There are currently no Exodus players back there to try to prevent that garrison from being able to spawn. So at the end of the day, we've got to keep an eye on this, see how that continues to go out, because that could end up being a big vulnerability here for Exo, as Taco appears to already be getting behind them a little bit here. Both teams dropping supplies, though, on the backside lines, as Pickle Rick and Lord Fistmeister, or Fistmeister, probably a little bit more of what you'd expect there. Looking to try to get behind and secure those. Got a Lux moving on up as Lord Fistmeister dodges the Lux coming on in, able to avoid detection for the time being. But now that garrison will be locked out. But Pickle Rick going to do everything he can to kind of hold up and make sure nothing happens to it. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to zoom on back here, just see how the action's going on over here. As Poopa Scoopa falling victim to Ghost or Whittle. Not quite sure who was the one that got that. Guinness. Unfortunate to jump over there just as Black was looking right out the door. But that's going to leave Blyde and a Say, Sleeping Family to go ahead and move on up. Jack taken out by a she. And Build. I'm just already gonna apologize. I'm butchering names here. Hopefully it gives you guys a good chuckle though in the ways that I try to pronounce them. Again, not out of desire to get it wrong for you guys. No, there's lots of creative names out there, lots of thought and effort go into every single one of these names we see on our screen today. But Whittle getting a shot on Ogerson. Whittle able to go ahead and remove him. As Sergeant Deek, able to get behind and take out Whittle now. So that garrison's still up for Taco on the south side. As this IS-1 just owns the front steps here of St. Mary. We have still the one Tiger tank on the left side for the Axis. As far as other ones go, looks like that is the only heavy tank on the field at the moment, this IS-1 for the Allies, and then the Axis side having the one Tiger tank. Looks like our friendly Panzer IV still sitting on the roof down there. See her right there as Hood looks to try to get an angle on it. As Kessner is able to go ahead and remove him. Protect his tank up on the stilts. Go back over to the bright side here. Mr. Brightside able to looking to get around is unfortunately maybe we need to stop calling him out here, as Nuntuk is able to go ahead and clear out the remaining area there. Deathface getting out, trying to get a little bit of security on his Lux here. But Kimbo Slice now able to be the last man standing of that little skirmish over the house here. So still looking around for that garrison on the southern side. Garrison placed right by it, but it looks like now we have to have some guys there that will be looking to take that out. So we'll zoom over and see if that goes, but I'm going to give these guys a little bit more screen time here as Mr. Brightside looking to try to find an angle on Dan. Dan sending a good, Kimbo Slice, sorry, sending a good rocket out. Sniping with the rocket. Mr. Brightside falling victim to Kimbo Slice. As Noah J hunkers back behind here with his STG. Putting the cold out of his mind, looking try to just to get down the road here as Noah J looks to push up here on Kimbo Slice and company. Stage Tame though, is he gonna be able to get behind and get this Lux? Looks like the Lux unfortunately did not see him, and Stage Tame able to get a satchel on the backside. All that work Deathface put into getting that Lux right back up and going, getting it fully repaired. Appears that it's going to be for naught, as he is a solo man trying to man this Lux here and looks to just be about ready to go up in smoke. Noah J say, hey buddy, you're good. But unfortunately, as we know from the commentator side, he's not good as he goes up in smoke. We have another Panzer IV moving on up here, taking the support and taking the place of that Lux. All right, cap progress now coming in for Exo. Exo able to get bodies back in here as they are getting a good little push here. Looks like Taco appears to be absorbing it for the time being. But it looks like our friendly little Panzer IV may have backed off. That might have been him that we saw move on up, but we got that Panzer IV action moving in on the IS-1 here. Zooming on back here, let's take a look at this as Sergeant Slaughter and Chapo look to try to get this repaired up before this little IS-1 pokes around the hedge here. IS-1 getting a shot there, knowing that it's there, but the IS-1 having to repair here, or not repair, but reload. Panzer IV fully repaired here. Will they be able to get a shot on this IS-1? Gets a shot, but unfortunately for them, it ricks off the front side. IS-1 not 100% sure where that shell came from, as Shadow and his crew look to try to just scope out exactly where it is, but that MG tracer fire may end up alerting them to their right position here. This Panzer IV wisely backs on up, trying to get out of the danger zone here. Definitely not wanting to visit Valhalla today. IS-1 pushing up, trying to maintain its advantage, knowing that they have a look at where that Panzer IV is, being directed by the little blueberries in front of him. IS-1 looking to get a shot. Can the Panzer IV get by in time? Gets a shot on him. Rocket misses from Kimbo Slice, or ricochets off the side as the IS-1 into the front of the shed. Panzer IV putting a shell off the front. IS-1 putting it into its tracks. Another one like that, though, and it's going to go ahead and cause him to have a bad day. So unfortunately for them, double stacked here. Or not, oh, I apologize. IS-1 was the one behind, but the T-34 was the one taking on the Panzer IV there. But at the end of the day, that Panzer IV just outmatched, unfortunately. Had two different tanks going on. Even if they had gotten the T-34, would not have been able to escape the clutches of that IS-1. Proxy Satchel going off here. Stage Tame trying to clear out that area for him and Kimbo Slice to go ahead and move on up. All right, zooming back out, let's take a look and see how the action is continuing to develop. So, looks like EXO is really starting to get a good, decent wrap around this outside right here. So, with that, definitely going to continue looking to see how everything continues to progress here for these guys. Just slowly forcing EXO or Taco out of these areas. Now, originally Taco did have a garrison down here, but that seems to have been eliminated. As EXO continues to make a good push. Big spawn waves, though, for Taco here, trying to fill up on this front door push here from EXO. Ogerson falling on the left side. The Shy. Maybe we'll go with Shy taking out Black. Blide also. Mattis looking to move up on Ledford. Matty Ice able to go ahead and take him out. As Nemo Ranger appears to have traded with him. Very elusive. And Travi moving on up, coming up against the Shy and Build. Or Blide. Goodness sakes. Buildy. The Shy taken out by Ariel. Ariel taking out Blide as he goes flying over the fence. Swan diving for his final post. All right, so as we near 1/2 hour in, we're still sitting at 3-2 with Taco having the lead here. Initially, EXO started having the cap pressure on the middle point, but Taco able to go ahead and get out and get up there, taking that first fight. Since that point, Taco was able to get a little bit farther down the way. However, EXO now appears to be launching a good push here as they continue to try to drive back Taco. Hi, I'm Betty going into Babak and Hood. Juica, though, taking out Hood. Stim Valentine. Good rocket coming in from Juju. Hoping to get some Juju on there as Juica still able to stay up. Getting some shots here through the openings in the wood there. But Juica not able to live too much longer as Juju able to take him out. But the Lux laying into Juju. Somehow it can sense that he is an AT guy here. We know he's used one rocket already. Lux just trying to stay at a distance here. Avoiding the wrath of Juju. Don and Sadis falling on the backside as well. So George of the Honkle, Sergeant Diak, Black, all going up and fighting each other here. Let's take a look here at the perspective of George. Now, looks like we aren't able to get his gun to render in, but let's just take a look at the action that George is facing right here as his buddy is disintegrated by a PPSH in front of him. Gets a shot on Kesner. Very good shooting there. George of the Honkle and Whittle still on opposite sides of the fence as George does his best Batman impersonations or magician impersonations, trying to hide in the smoke. Disappear for a moment as Whittle goes right by him. It must have worked. As Whittle had no idea he was there. Shy and Ghost going on each other. Ghost able to take him out just to be met with 2 PPSHs to the face. Sergeant Deke looking to pick up on what George of the Honkle was trying to do there. Using the smoke to their advantage to hide. Mufasa playing the pivotal role of support. Now, one thing that also differentiates a lot of these Division 1 teams, upper division teams, from some of the lower teams in other divisions is how often they look to try to jump in on these support classes and drop boxes. As you can see, plenty of rep stations, plenty of garrisons, plenty of other things are needed in order to accomplish a lot of the plans and tactics these guys have put into place. And so that constant stream of supply boxes is needed, especially after point captures as they look to try to advance garrison networks and whatnot. So my word of advice to anybody out there in the interwebs, if you like to play this game, get in the habit of jumping into that support role every 5 minutes or so, dropping boxes, especially in public matches. There is a giant scarcity of boxes, and it's not up to the commander all the time to go ahead and drop those supplies for garrisons. I know a lot of people like to just run and gun, but that support role can play a major portion and play a major part in trying to get teams advanced and set up in places. Sergeant Deke moving around here, looking to get an eye on Whittle, but Whittle able to whittle him down there. All right, so appreciate you guys all joining us today again. I am Night Falcon. I'm your host today, coming live from Falcon Studios in this Division 1 matchup between Taco and Exodus. Also, my friend Smithers, also a member of the TPL team, is streaming from the Exodus side. So I invite you, if you want to see all the fun sights in action, pop us up into one of those dual stream formats. Get both of us going on so you can see what both casters are seeing as well as we try to get full coverage of this Division 1 matchup. Now, I try to do the best I can to make this as good and a comfortable experience for anybody there watching on the backside. So if the sound for some reason is too loud or my jokes are too bad, by all means put it in the chat. You have to be a subscriber first for that though, but please put it in the chat. Would love to have the subscription because we are trying to become more and more advanced here, get a few more features here. YouTube kind of gatekeeps at that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you could leave a like, leave a subscribe, it helps us out here as we continue to try to grow the channel, as we continue to cast these wonderful competitive matches here for TPL. Also, to put another plug in, if you guys end up having friendly scrims or whatnot, I'm more than happy to try to explore casting things for you guys. Stage Tame able to get back, get some shots into this Panzer IV, and with that, Don Insanus and Stage Tame able to double tap. Now, even with the advantage that Armor seems to have after Update 18, that is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Support and AT rockets, every squad. Very impressed at what it does. All right, and with that, Taco starting to get some cap pressure here as they have a backside garrison gone completely unnoticed here, as Lord Fistmeister able to get back here and appears to be have been able to lock out, no, hasn't locked out a garrison, but has owned the middle of hard cap. So Fistmeister all by himself here as Cloth looks to try to get back, figure out where in the world things are coming in from. There's no doubt that airhead has been spotted. Can Lord Fistmeister get Cloth to preserve his team's ability to get that airhead? Missing his first shots, Cloth being made aware of the situation, but the SVT is too much for Cloth as Lord Fistmeister is able to eliminate him. Savvy coming off the back and Cross able to take out Lord Fistmeister though. Airhead now going unguarded. It appears to be well in hand here for Exodus, as Commander Warlock looks to be using his Warlock powers. And is going to eliminate that. So Warlock able to respond very well with his team to that first initial airhead from Taco there. But it was not for naught, because that looks like it may have sucked a good amount of EXO players back kind of a little bit to come back in, leaving the way for Taco to get a lot of bodies up to the front side of that line. So Taco slowly able to push Exodus right back out. EXO had a good push there going for a moment, but looks like Taco able to respond very nicely as cap progress again coming in. May have been a very good tactic here by Hound Dog 7 and his team with the airhead to try to draw attention away from that garrison in the back line. Keep it here as Trapper and Fred go off. Trapper able to eliminate Fred as Lord Fistmeister on the backside here looks to try to get an advantageous position here as Trapper searches around more and more for wherever these spawns might be. Getting closer and closer. There it is. He was locked out that garrison now. So it'll be vital for Lord Fistmeister and Natuk to go ahead and get Trapper out of here so more of their guys can spawn in back here. But Natuk able to be eliminated by Trapper. Trapper getting a good angle on him. Lord Fistmeister now the only man here in the area that could potentially get it, as Azza now looks to have responded back, trying to help out and doing what they can to get that up. Lord Fistmeister getting the help of Pickle Rick here. Azza does not see Trapper, but Trapper gets the first shots but misses, unfortunately, and Azza is able to go ahead and get a kill there. So that's going to open that garrison. Nope, scratch that. Still closed here as Savvy looking to get back up here with Dr. Bean Monkey running far a little bit behind there. As a proxy satchel appears to have eliminated Azza. Let's take a look and see if Savvy's gonna be able to notice where this garrison is. For our viewers at home, that's where it is. Let's see if we can build the suspense as Savvy's running right by it. Probably doesn't hear it yet, as it is on the other side of the building there, but Savvy looks to have been able to bloodhound that one out and hearing the garrison from the backside. Able to get on up here, and looks like Savvy is going to be able to eliminate that. So garrison for the Allies now out. But not for naught, because it has pulled a lot of guys here off the front line. Travi now being the only Exodus man along this entire line here, as this Tiger just tries to get back in here to defensible forces and into a defensible position. Shy looking to get his eyes onto that Tiger tank here. Won't be able to kill it with the rockets, but a good rocket coming out from a Shy. One into the backside. These guys, when they aim for their shots, they hit their shots. Makes it really difficult on these tankers to be able to move around too much. As everybody, usually on these teams, can hit their rocket shots. Oh, another good rocket, though. Ricocheting off the backside, though, but definitely a very good shot, as he almost was able to get another pin on the backside of that. As we see supplies dropping in for the Allies, it appears that the push for EXO has been forced to come in from the eastern side, as now they have double-stacked Tiger tanks over here on this side. No, not double-stacked Tiger tanks, sorry. One Tiger tank right below us there, and it looks like our P4 has been able to find its way back into the position, but it may have dived down. No, hasn't made its way back into the position. Sorry, my apologies. Deathface and hi, I'm Betty, looking to try to just splash as much HE into that area. They did take out the garrison that Taco had there, so it definitely the offensive push there for Exodus, able to go ahead and get a little bit of attraction there as they are able to clear that area. George of the Honkel and James Guapdokes. Often, James has a bad tendency to be labeled as the Bay Harbor Butcher. I'm sure in Russia has a very good, a very big, built up lore all around him. But as we all know, for those of you who have watched the episodes and the shows, notice that he was framed. Got a little too close to the real Bay Harbor Butcher. All right, that AT threat is now eliminated as Taco again continues to push bodies to the south side, able to gain a lot of ground here. So as you're looking at it, they've got a good front line going here. Now it's a little sparse. I mean, we're still dealing with these giant open fields here. But overall, starting to get a really good push. So Taco appears to have been able to get a good amount of this area. Be interested to see if they're able to get a garrison up in this little tree, and that might be where each squad's headed. Get an opening up, get a supply box dropped, to see if they can continue trying to push down here into the point. It's Fatine eliminated from the EXO guys on the other side of the wall. All right, recon plane coming on in. Going to expose some of those Exodus players here as they look just to try to hold off on this line here. Warlock joining the front line with his men. Flavortown looking to get some good angles here. Sasha Lele coming up in support of the T-34. All right, so Lord Fistmeister just everywhere on the map today. Living in the back lines of Exodus. Looks to be able to move up. Potentially get somebody to come off that OP with some supplies. Be able to open up a brand new attack here. That would be a giant spot. If Taco was able to own this area, start getting MGs up here, they can really do a lot of damage. I'm trying to prevent this exact thing that's happening with EXO right now as they try to move up through these areas. These trenches. All right, let's try to get on in, get some first person perspective action going on here. See where the most of our fighting is going on. It appears as of right now, people are pretty well spaced out. Top tier guy able to go ahead and eliminate Wolf up there on the hill. As Dan looks to move up on Trillman, dodging explosions all around him. Dan gets shots on him. Kimbo Slice or Dan would have been the ones to get him there. It's Kimbo Slice looking to try to get into the relative safety of this little trench here on the side of the railroad tracks. Kimbo Slice, let's go ahead and take a look at your first person perspective here. gun not rendering in as well, but Mr. Brightside well in the sights here. Able to eliminate Mr. Brightside. But just like that, quick turnaround as top tier guys able to go ahead and eliminate him. Hey Mitch, finding himself at home over on Distillery over here. Among the hay. No doubt, trying to stay on the outside of the battlefield here. Most likely still living with a little bit of that PTSD from his Hunger Games encounters. Good to see that Haymitch is still up and kicking. Stifler's mom still playing a good pivotal overlook spot in the top of St. Mary's. Seen him there a couple times. As he just looks to continue to hold a body presence on the hard cap sector. Sniper on sniper action. Peaks taken out in the car. Battle of the Snipers goes to Cheeks. As a great rocket comes in from Guinness, taking out the backside of that P4. Good shooting by Guinness. AT coming in clutch here for Taco as they just continue to pound their AT rockets into the backs of these German tanks. Let's take a look and just see what the armor situation looks like. So one IS-1 retreating back here. One T-34 for the Allies also coming back up. But that appears to be the... Okay, we do have another IS-1 there just east of St. Mary's. With one Tiger tank holding front door here for the Axis forces. Battle of the H-Squad's going in over there. Lord Fistmeister and Savvy looking to go at it. As Savvy is able to take out Lord Fistmeister. But just as we predicted, Lord Fistmeister able to get Garrison up off of his supplies there in the back side. As Taco's starting to do very well. You can see the front line really starting to form here. They've been able to hold it for the duration pretty much of this match. It was a little bit collapsed back there when EXO was able to get their biggest push so far onto St. Mary here. But this is going to be a little pivotal area right here. These guys can stay up. They're going to be able to hold that wraparound position and prevent Taco from getting behind. But as soon as these OPs go, we could be looking at Taco getting a good wrap around the backside there. Let's take a look, though, and see what this Panzer IV is doing here on the northern side as they look to just try to get behind the map here. And unfortunately, falling victim here to the IS, or the T-34 here. Got distracted by the carcass here. This Burger Bridge and his squad able to go ahead and shore up the backside. Now, Taco again getting cap pressure onto the 4th point here at River Crossing. As Natuk looks to move on up. Natuk, Dr. Bean Monkey facing each other down here. Dr. Bean Monkey with the disadvantage of not being able to have an iron sight available for him. Just has to kind of hold true to that, but not an issue for Dr. Bean Monkey as he's able to take out Natuk. But immediately taken out by Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick with the good high ground spy here. Fan of Rick and Morty, but also must be a fan of Star Wars as he has taken the high ground and told Dr. Bean Monkey not to try it. This could be a really exciting AT gun if Pickle Rick and his squad is able to go ahead and get that up, as it has a giant overlook position on this entire valley. Dr. Bean Monkey, though, coming quickly back to the fight here. Little does he know that Bean Monkey is about to go face first into about 4 blueberries here. Fistmeister eliminating him from the competition. As more and more bodies start to flood back into this 4th sector here for Taco. This really just goes to show you that in a lot of these engagements, with the exception of Dr. B Monkey's situation there, it's normally going to be 1 against 1, 1 against 2, 2 against 2. You win your gunfights, you have a good chance to take a good amount of room and ground here, as Mr. Mojo wrote. Mr. Majorzen, apologize, looks to face off against Ariel. Ariel Elusive. Both getting shots, but Ariel Elusive able to be elusive enough there to get the win. But just like we've seen in so many other gunfights, Ogerson able to get up and make the trade here. Nemo Ranger mounting up that MG42, trying to cover this ground here. As Artie here for the Allies looks to be landing in hard on this intersection point. So this is right at that blue-red line sector here, as they most likely, it's a popular place where a lot of teams can put a lot of garrisons. So at that point, from the Artie perspective, they do their homework as well. They know where these teams are going to be putting in their garrisons here, as Artie comes in and eliminates that push there from EXO. While we're speaking of it, let's go ahead and give some love to our artillerymen. Give them some screen time here. Often just alone back here on the guns, don't get some screen time, but here on the Falcon Cast, we'd like to give everybody a little bit of screen time here, as Decom loads that masterfully. It's textbook loading the shell. Those are not light, ladies and gentlemen. Able to one man load that gun, switch back and forth, doing it with fine precision here. And inversely, we're going to go over and take a look at the Axis artillery as well. Give them a little bit of screen time as we quickly fly through here. Stopping just for a brief moment to kind of get an idea of what this dividing line is between these two teams. This has become one of my favorite views here in the Hell Let Loose casting world. Just that nice divisional line between both sides. But as we were talking about, that group of OPs right here has fallen for Exodus, leaving it open and available for Taco to just continue to try to wrap around this backside. So you can't see it from the map in particular, but the railroad station, or the railroad tracks, does sit on a little bit of an elevated position. So with Taco being able to get up there, you can see him kind of standing just along there. They're able to get a lot of crossfire into this front door right here. So with the assistance of these two tanks, this area for Exodus is in danger. That good old Ralph meme from The Simpsons, sitting in the truck, or sitting in the school bus, very true of all of these EXO players here at the moment, because they are in danger. All right, let's go back now. We've made our way over here real fast. Let's go take a look and give our artilleryman some love here. Cool. Man in the gun on the back line here. Cool. Zoning on in, trying to get those mills right. Hoping that those shells land exactly where you would like them to. Shot off for Cool here. Shot. Cool, also with the same efficiency on his gun, able to load that sucker with that heavy round right in there, helping his boys out. But for the time being, those EXO forces that were in danger here to still be able to hold out here. It's Juju looking to get some vibes into that Juju, getting some good Juju here as Zin looks to try to eliminate him. Noah hiding up in the top of the loft there. Looks like EXO also able to figure out the fun advantage, but Juju able to eliminate that garrison in the second floor. Plus, when you do prep, it's always fun to find little things just like that, where the garrison can be put inside the building. Juju able to do a lot of damage here for the Allies, eliminating the garrison and eliminating that push here. So Juju, Azza, and James Guapdokes able to take that front door push here as they just continue to drive these Exodus forces back. little recon Puma over here. About to go up against the face of this IS-1. And unfortunately for him, is not going to stand much of a chance, but we're going to keep it right here and give this tank crew a shot at their prize as they take that Puma out. Overlord and his crew. Good shot by Loco to go ahead and get that taken out. So slowly but surely, Taco moving Exodus back here. Appreciate you guys all joining in here on the stream again today. My name is Night Falcon. Appreciate you being here, sharing this wonderful Division 1 matchup here between Exodus and Taco. Also, will remind you that on the other side of this match, Mr. Smithers is broadcasting from the Exodus side. Happy to be here streaming with the GOAT. Trying to do what I can to capture just as much angles and much of the action so that we don't miss a moment here for you viewers at home. So EXO, it does look like they have been able to gain a good amount of pressure off of that 4th point. Any pressure that was put into that sector here from Lord Fistmeister has been eliminated as that garrison that they placed is gone. So they've been able to push up this road here. Or not the road, but the canal, and appears to be wrapping. So right now, it's kind of a fun little situation we have going on. Front line looks kind of like an S. Not your typical edge-to-edge here, but both lines trying to absorb the respective pushes that they have into their sectors. As EXO continues to look to try to establish themselves back up on this western side. Could end up with a good position here as that garrison for Taco just lit up. Hamish looking to try to get up, see what he can do to try to preserve that here as Hamish looking to get an angle as Cheeks moves on up. Hamish saw him, but wisely holding his fire. Leon and Azza getting back into the fight here as the garrison, letting him know that it was lit up, that there are bad guys in the area. Cheeks taking out Azza. Leon hearing the shots though, holding the angle, looks to get shots on Cheeks. Cheeks getting the upper hand though on Leon, able to get him eliminated as Cheeks is going to be able to fall on top of that garrison and remove it. For the Taco side, Hamish though, not wanting that to go without recourse here. It's Hamish looking for Cheeks. But wisely waiting for some reinforcements to come off of his OP behind him. But on the flip side here, we got Dan coming in on the backside, looking to try to take out the garrison that Exodus placed. Trillium looking to try to get an angle to try to preserve it. Teej spawning in though, doesn't know he's going to be third-partied. But Dan, unfortunately, gonna fall victim to that. As Azza also coming off the front side, OP here for B Squad. Kimbo Slice. Teej now moving up, about 20 seconds left until this garrison spawns again, but Mr. Brightside and Top Guy able to come off the OP right by, leaving Azza all right by themselves. Azza getting shots, but unfortunately not able to get quite enough on Teej. And that's going to be eliminated with Stage Tame being the only man there for the time being. Dan, Kimbo Slice coming right back in, not wanting to give up on this garrison. Let's see who wins this set. Kimbo Slice and Dan now. Kimbo able to take out Mr. Brightside as Teej is going to be eliminating Dan. Soon to get reinforcements off of this OP. 3 of them spawn here. So 3 on 5. Both teams in their respective halves here. Who's going to be the one to cross that midsection first? But the help of the T-34 are looking to come up here. Or the IS-1. Looking to come on up and help out with the taking out of this garrison. Big spawn wave here, not knowing that the IS-1 right behind them turns them all into dust very quickly. As just like that, the tank came in and really just had its way with that whole situation here, eliminating again the push here from Exodus. Just swallowing it right back up as Taco now appears to have been able to make their way all off of St. Mary. EXO looks like they're devoting a lot of resources here onto this western side. both teams looking to try to get in the hard cap sector. So as I was kind of mentioning before, when we talk about capping a point, teams have to get into the 4 grid squares around the sector. That's going to be called the soft cap grid. And this little circle right here with the zebra marks through it, that's going to be the hard cap. So teams need to be able to start getting into this sector and hold more cap pressure. So each person that is in a cap contributes cap pressure, whether it's for the defense or it's for the offense. And so they need to obtain cap majority in order to start getting the cap to go in their direction. Now, people that are inside of the hard cap sector count double, I believe. It's either double or triple. So they either count as, no, okay, I think it is double. So they count as 2 bodies. So the more people you have on hard cap, the more pressure you're going to put on the point. As Wolfdog, Montana, and Kimbo Slice coming off of the western side, looking to try to get angles here on the east. Or coming off the eastern side, looking to get a foothold on the west. As Chungus and Cloth look to try to help out as well. As another airhead here coming in for Taco. Matty Ice and Poopa Scoopa look to be there trying to help out. But this Panzer IV coming on in most likely sees exactly where this airhead's going to land. You can already see the barrel tracking. Poopa Scoopa unaware of that Tiger or that Panzer IV. Let's see, will the Panzer IV be able to eliminate it? First shot misses. Poopa Scoopa, though, might have just pooped a little bit when that round came by. But AT round, not high explosive, does not take out the airhead. Okay, next shot does take it out, though. Second airhead easily handled here by Exodus, as Taco looks to just continue flooding bodies in, collapsing this whole eastern side here for Exodus. So Exo being really boxed into this entire sector right here. They're trying to do what they can to reestablish over here, but with this incursion that Taco has down into these areas, they're owning all of the houses right here. It's going to be really difficult because it's going to force Exo to come across open fields every direction in order to try to get up into that sector and try to get defensive. So as we pass the 1 hour mark of gameplay here, Taco appears to be on the verge of capturing and putting pressure on this 4th point here, looking very good as Exo just tries to hold Taco back and prevent them from being able to get into this 4. Try to preserve this 3-2 for as long as they can. Taco's reacting very well to this western push from Exodus. Clearing more and more OPs. They are gaining ground. Watermill, Garrison, and OP for G-Squad being the only little island out there. As more and more Tacos just appear to be flooding into the point here. Garrison for Exo on the southern side, so not going to be supported by a Garrison unless they're able to get another one up here in the sector, but it's going to be a little too close based off of that southern Garrison here. The OP's only flooding in this hard cap sector as a spawn wave comes off from Savvy and Lucas on the backside. Frequents in the 22nd server. It's good to see them all the time. As that arty for the Allies continues just to pound on this western side of hard cap. As it looks like Zaw and his crew are moving up onto that Garrison, going to be taking it out on Watermill, eliminating the rest of the Exodus forces there. Now, bombing run appears to be coming in. Looks like it's layered. Going to be getting this Garrison here on the front door here for Taco. It looks like James Wap Dokes able to go ahead and remove himself. Banksy looking to be in line for that. Banksy able to clear it as well. Garrison falling here for Taco on the front door. But nobody there from Exo to go ahead and get that back up and try to reestablish that foothold. But good play here from the Exodus commander to try to reestablish a foothold for his men on that front door step. But with that cap pressure coming in for Taco, Taco really loading in on that eastern side of hard cap. Exodus is going to have to respond back here fairly quickly. And as of right now, they do not have any bodies in the hard cap. So even if a reinforcement were to go down, got to get some guys into the hard cap sector here to have that have an effect. Reinforce only would apply to people that are in the hard cap sector. It gives them a little bit of an extra defensive edge just to help out that team. But right now, Taco owning all of the hard cap sector as more and more bodies look to be coming off of garrisons and other OPs in the area for Exodus. Gennis taking out Cloth though, as Banksy looks to be on the front side of the push here. Now Banksy, one of the few people that does get his gun to render in for us, taking some shots, but there are just too many Tacos there at the moment. As a reinforce, not down yet. But N Squad, Chungus, and Juica appear to be inside the hard cap sector, so not willing to quite throw it yet. As a recon plane starting to go up here for the Allies, as Blide and Aza just try to continue to hold this push, but Exodus responding very nicely and really taking it out. A lot of guys coming in from the eastern side here, able to help eliminate that push that Taco had, as Matty Ice is now the only man there. But let's see, what has that done in turn to the Exodus line, having to force so many bodies back. Going up in the Falcon Cam, let's take a look and see how the Exodus line is holding. So as of right now, it's still got good placement and spacing for those relative sectors. It looks like that's one in the front there, but looking pretty good person. So as of right now, EXO responding very well back, getting the cap pressure eliminated from river crossing. And with that, able to go ahead and get themselves back into the fight here. $22 left in this match between Taco and Exodus here. The Shy is able to go ahead and eliminate the Exodus player. Not able to see who it was first, but Zin taking out Tabu. Let that be a lesson for you guys watching in the internets there around the world, of that good example from Exodus not to panic too much, trying to get bodies back into the point, not abandoning their full macro of their front line, but able to go ahead and respond enough bodies back. Officers still held their positions, and now they've been able to flush themselves back out into their front line macro here. As Wolfdog takes out some cheeks, slapping some cheeks back there for Wolfdog. EXO appears to have gotten a garrison up in the back line here, forcing Taco to respond back. We got multiple bodies moving on back here, trying to figure out what SFH is doing back here. Trying to eliminate whatever garrison might be back here. We have the advantage of being on the casting side to see exactly where it is, but they do not, so they have to sniff that out as SFH looks to just try to keep that garrison safe. Not worrying about the guys running around him, but Vengeance able to go ahead and help SFH take out Zaw there, as the garrison still locked out here for the Axis, as that tank appears to be just close enough to be locking it out. Just like that, that T-34 moving away should look to see that garrison open up here relatively shortly. EXO coming in with a good push here. Now we've gotten in a position where Taco's now the ones. Just a few minutes ago we had a good Taco line going here, but Taco now appears to have been completely collapsed here by EXO into these sectors. So Taco now on the back foot a little bit here after having so much pressure on that fourth point, needing to go ahead and respawn a little bit back here. Now with 20 minutes left, you don't want if you're Taco, you don't want this Exo push to kind of be coming in. They're boxing you in very nicely, and it's going to make it really exciting and interesting here for the next 20 minutes. Just exactly how this match could play out. For those of you that were on the Falcon cast yesterday, we did see that TRR in the final minutes was able to get an airhead combo with a bombing run, and were able to go ahead and snatch the victory from the jaws of defeat against 508P in the closing minutes. Just about 3 minutes left in that match. They were able to get back in there and take that. Could we possibly be looking at seeing some similar late game shenanigans and heroics here from the Exodus side? Stay tuned as we all eagerly wait to try to figure out how this match will end. As Taco again continues to push down the road here. For our allied artillery landing here. Both teams not wanting to emerge really from their cover at the spot at the moment. Travi though looking to brave it, but unfortunately the explosion was more powerful than the will to be brave. No plot armor there for him at the moment. Let's just take a look. See how this RD is coming in, because it looks like they kind of are alternating their shots here. Look to see if the next shot lands on the western side of these buildings. Nope, looks like they sent the volley that they wanted to. All right, it looks like we've got a potential heavy fight going on over here. Tiger Tank and IS-1 separated only by railroad tracks here. Who's going to be the first person to get the first shot here? As Bible Swan and Duders look to have their turret faced on it first. Getting the shot on the IS-1, Bible Swan and Duders, Soda Bear looking to try to gain their advantage here. Will they get the second shot as the tank looks to try to get back? But unfortunately for them, they are not fast enough to get into reverse from that fourth gear. And they are taken out. Opening the door here for Exo to try to push up this eastern side here. So good communication here from the from all of the friendlies, trying to identify where those tanks were for both sides so they could look to get that engagement there. All right, so going in though, Taco appears to have been able to respond. Just how quickly, it amazes me how quickly these front lines are going back and forth, but Taco able to respond very nicely, getting that box out back in their favor. So textbook play from both teams here, showing you how to handle and managing your macros. Look here on the eastern side. Here's most of our action, sorry. Excuse me. Sunday afternoon time, nap time coming up, I think, after this. I am Betty taking out Wolf Dog there. Looking to go for more here as I am Betty and the Shy look to be missing a Shy. Hearing the shots though, not exactly sure where they're coming from as I am Betty. I'm Betty is able to get around, but unfortunately runs straight into a pack of blueberries, spawning off of an OP. Exo looking to probably have one more decent push in them here with the help of bombing runs and airheads and whatnot. So eager to see how this materializes here as they are starting to put their tanks together. Currently one Tiger tank, two Tiger tanks. How did they have three heavy tanks on the field right now? Right? No, okay, they don't. They don't. Okay. I was very confused there for a second because all teams are kind of capped at two heavy tanks just based off of the developers' logic there. So that little Panzer IV in the back kind of made us think for a second that it was a Tiger tank, but it was not. Fear not. Only two heavy tanks on the field at this moment. Only one IS-1 though on the field for the Allies though at this time. Makar just looking into the sniper nest here, seeing what angles he can get. Let's take a look and see if we can see. Now, we don't get to see through his scope, but we do kind of get to see off the front of the gun, which makes it kind of fun for the Allies, or for us as viewers at home. You can kind of get that action cinematic third-person shot as he drops to his death. Oh boy, unfortunate. Or planned, probably premeditated. These battles on the Eastern Front, I know, caused a lot of PTSD for a lot of guys, so maybe that was just what was going on there. The Exos start to get some cap pressure in here, nearing 13 minutes left. This could be their momentum that they need. Will we see the advantage of any bombing runs or airheads here for Exo? As we start to see it come in, Black's taking a good rocket here as Noah mops him up. IS-1 on the far western side of the map, though, trying to hold position against that Tiger tank as they were just playing chess out on the map edge. All right, so Exodus really trying to mount their push here. This is probably their biggest chance right here to try to take this away from Taco, who's owned it the entirety of this match. But knocking on the front door here, Exo not going quietly into that night. It's Babak, Hood, and Zin appear to be on a collision course. Babak missing, Zin missing his shots. Babak able to get the final win with the PPSH there. Sorry guys, I keep popping up into the map purely to be able to see if any bombing runs are getting called in. I do not get the commander ability or the commander notification like I do on the Allies to see when that bombing run might be coming in. Pickle Rick, Wolf Dog, Mr. Majorzen trying to hold off Whittle and this push here on the southern side, or on the close side here. Bean Monkey mounting with his MG. Just laying lead down range here, trying to hit as many bodies as he possibly can. Hardy somehow not killing Bean Monkey there. Must have been saved. Sorry about that. Had an intern come in and wanted to hit some buttons. Apologize for that issue there. All right, so Exo, biggest push coming front door right now. Taco able to reestablish on that western side. New garrison is up for them, as this Tiger tank looks to just lay in 8 on this eastern side. Now, we could look to start seeing a little bit of help from the Taco guys down there on River Crossing. They might be able to go ahead and get some cap pressure. If they do, it's going to act as an offense being the best defense situation, because it's probably going to suck some of these Exodus guys back. Now we get into these moments, and this is where we're going to find if the Exodus commander got in and did a little bit of research on where exactly airheads could drop. With the help of bombing runs, could we possibly be seeing some fun little airheads hiding into some sneaky little spots here, as they may have planned for this exact situation, as the 4th point on River Crossing appears to be getting contested and going in favor of Taco. Let's zoom on over there, see what the situation currently looks like here, as Cloth is the only body back here for Exodus at the moment, going 3-1. Klopp doing a swan dive as well, just like his teammate earlier. As now, Matty Ice Pickle Rick and Lord Fistmeister are the only guys in the hard cap here. Savvy trying to get up and do what they can to salvage any additional advantage they have here. No airhead is going to be available on the Axis, or sorry, on the Allies side based off of munitions and manpower. But Savvy getting shots, taking out Pickle Rick. Able to contest the point here. As Lord Fistmeister and Savvy are the only ones here in the hard cap sector. But Commander Warlock here responding back nicely to try to help out. But as of right now, more and more tacos going into the point here. But EXO really nearing cap pressure, getting full cap pressure on St. Mary there. So with that, we could, if Taco is able to continue their push here. Fubar for life falling victim to Aza and Lord Fistmeister. Cap going back and forth here. Warlock trying to hold what he can. But EXO in that difficult position of not wanting to apply too many bodies back. Appears to have gotten a spawn off of that garrison front door and have ordered a good number of guys to get into that cap sector here as they begin to defend here. Now, even though it might not work for Taco to get the point, they have been able to suck enough bodies back. No reinforce put up yet from the Exodus side. But if they're able to flush that reinforce out, that 200 manpower could be the difference between their ability to launch an airhead and not have an airhead. But with this, they're abandoning this whole western side here, trying to get bodies back into cap. And that might be the dagger in them that is preventing them from being able to keep their push on St. Mary going as it just continues to get flooded back. So Lord Fistmeister and crew able to do a great job at taking out pressure on St. Mary, forcing Exodus to respawn back to it. Right now we got double stacked tanks up here, one Panzer IV and a Tiger tank trying to hold on the line here. But just like that, we lost our Panzer IV here for the Exodus side. All right, so Exodus now has 5 minutes remaining to go ahead and get something going. Now, keep in mind, in Warfare, it does take 2 minutes to capture a point, and there is no additional overtime. So what that means is that they have to start holding cap majority at 2:01 to really have a shot at taking this match here from Taco. But Taco, no doubt, going to start turtling a little bit here, just making sure that that does not happen. It's the equivalent of playing American football here, just trying to go into a little bit of a prevent defense, making sure the plays stay in front of you. But don't count them out yet. But no doubt, expect some type of bombing run airhead combo here quickly in the next few minutes from Exodus as they try to get more and more bodies up into the point. Big battles going here on the western side. As Vengeance, Chungus, Hewlett just try to get up into this area. Friendly Luck splashing into the area. Might have taken out a few friendlies there. Gliding Quilt going at it. Who's going to emerge on top? Build. Able to go ahead and get that out. Okay, I'm going to keep popping up into there, making sure I don't miss that bombing run action airhead combo that could potentially be coming in. But we did see a recon plane go over, so we could very well be prepping for it here. James Guap Dokes looking to try to get in on these 4 cherries on this party they're having here on the backside. Taking out some cheeks. Noah and Mr. Bright, though, in the process of getting up a rep station. James Dokes able to get Mr. Brightside. But Noah J and Trill able to survive as Trill takes him out. All right, there it is. There is our bombing run airhead combo. So airhead is now coming in. Let us see what it will do. Unfortunately for Exodus, it will not take a garrison out, but will allow their men to push up just enough to be able to get into that hard cap sector. As that bombing run coming on in, looks like it will help clear it out, but Hohenhound, hearing the bombing run in, is going to go ahead and stay well clear of the situation. Moving on up here, Hohenhound, though, looking to seal the victory here for his side. As the airhead for Exodus now is eliminated. Friendly grenade popping on over. Hohenhound is going to be able to get out of the way, though. Not pulling the Night Falcon from my match yesterday. Tried to kill an airhead with a grenade, and unfortunately, my teammate Dacker finding himself in the way. So give a call out to Echo Foxtrot. Not as worse as his airhead play back there at Summit 5. That still wins the Oscar. We did see some cap progress come in a little bit for Taco, but that appears to have gone by the wayside now as we are nearing 3 minutes, 41 seconds left on this match. Exo trying to do everything they can. Looks like they have gotten an OP up in the backside. 1 minute, 30 seconds to have cap progress coming on in here for Exodus. The Dawn and Zanus looking to respond nicely. SFH looking to try to get into here. It's Fubar for Leaf. Finds himself in the middle of the action. Dawn and Zanus able to remove him from the competition. Most likely heard the garrison, but was not able to get around and get that as it is sitting right there. Big spawn wave coming off for Taco. 1 minute remaining here for Exodus to be able to get cap progress here on to St. Mary. Exo trying just to shove everybody down this main way here. Everybody in their dog for Exodus moving on up this trench line area. Just trying to get as many bodies into the point. Major Mojosin, Glide, Asha. All these names that we've been calling out for the last hour and a half. Moving on up. Wolfdog, though, can he get Ghost as well? Wolfdog clearing him out. Bible Swan taking out that rocket. Gets a Taco player there. Bible Swan able to one-tap Wolfman as well. As a friendly Katushka strike comes in. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Taco is going to win this, improving to 4-1 in divisional round play here. But a good battle between these two. Very good. Had us going back and forth. While the point captures will still only show the one in favor of Taco. Lots of momentum from both sides. Led to some interesting pushes. Both teams able to get cap progress on the respective enemy's point. Both teams responding back very nicely in order to go ahead and keep those positions under their control. Again, I appreciate you guys joining us here on the Falcon cast here at Falcon Studios. For all of you that are watching, greatly appreciating likes, any subscribes you might be able to give us, as it helps us get more and more benefits here from the overlords at the YouTube offices. 44 seconds left. Taco appears to be running in, trying to show their dominance as they hope to maybe get a little bit of cap pressure on this final point. But this match did not disappoint here. Plenty of armor battles, plenty of back and forth infantry battles. As it's just a little too late for Exodus, but they are starting to get cap progress here on the backside. Just shows you how back and forth this match was, as they are pretty much even on the cap pressure for the respective sides. So let that be a good lesson to you, everyone. Here's a good textbook map lesson between these two teams on how you can go about handling a hell let loose match. So we're going to go ahead and give our commendation here to Mr. Hound Dog 7. leading his troops valiantly in this match here against Exodus today. Appreciate the team for letting me come out and go ahead and allow me some time to be able to cast this for them. Now, as I always like to do on the Falcon cast, we'll go ahead and take a look and see if we are able to go ahead and get stats up here. So for just a moment, we'll go ahead and tie back in here to our overlay here. We got to wait for it to be over here. So just for another minute, take a look and see if we will be able to see these stats come in. All right, so the match is just finishing there. We're hearing the end of the Soviet sound on the back. Let's take a look now and see. So on circle 2. Fortunately, there's the west. Okay, that's the ball. All right, so at this time, it looks like we will not be able to pull up stats, but we appreciate you guys all joining us here on the Falcon cast today. I've been Night Falcon, and I look forward very much to seeing you guys in the next cast next week. We might be off due to the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States, but we'll be back with a vengeance with playoff action starting the 1st of December. So look forward to seeing you all back for that. With that, see you guys next time on the battlefield.